hours or less?
I plan to make it in 1 hour, but we
1
can,
hour is good, yes.
yeah. So we can extend it if there are more questions.
Very interesting if we can do it in 1 hour.
Sure.
So, Jain Saab or Poonam Madam who's introducing Tejas ji, and I think we already have 67 people. So once you finish introducing him, we can start.
सर नमस्कार सभी को.
In fact, Mr. Tejas has already been known to most of us. We had the opportunity to listen to him in person a few days back or few months back before the lockdown. Although once again, I'm just giving a brief his account. He's an expert in startup setting up of business, and basically he's a business strategist and specialist of digital marketing. With nature of business which he has is robotics and web mobile applications. 14 plus years of experience in design and development of various IT products. Mr. Tejas is having demonstrated quite a lot in terms of digital marketing and in terms of blog writing, and therefore we have specially requested him to help all of us. We all are almost novice, sir, in case of blog writing. So it will be really a very interesting session. So welcome to you, sir, on behalf of Career Group of Institutions.
Thank you.
Please give us enlightenment on blog writing.
Sure. Is my screen visible now? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we'll be covering in today briefly is going to be how to create a great blog platform. And I'll be talking more about the things that you won't find online. It comes only from experience, which is how to host your own web. Why do we need to host it? And how to set up your own blog. What are the processes? What
तेजस सर, sorry to interrupt you. सर आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है सर.
Now is it better?
सर बाकी लोग को म्यूट भी कर दो, कुछ
Okay,
डिस्टर्ब
sir.
आ रहा है पीछे से.
ओके सर, जी सर.
तो थोड़ा जोर से बोलना पड़ेगा.
जी सर, जी सर.
So am I audible now?
Yes sir.
So like I was saying, that we have to choose one as a great platform that's required. What are the different platforms that are there? So this knowledge only comes from experience. So I'll be sharing whatever knowledge I have gained over the last 15 or maybe even 20 years of being online. Because the very first website that I created was way back in 1999 when I was still in ninth standard at that time. So it's been a journey since then, how you can do things on your own for free, as well as how you can get involved into more creative and more serious things by launching something on your own by a paid medium. That. And then fourth, we'll be looking at how you can design your own blog using some of these tools. And fifth is what I'll be giving more emphasis on is what are the useful resources that we have for blogging and how to get yourself involved into writing blogs that are read by people and enjoyed by people also. So we'll start with the first part is looking at what are the different blog platforms that we have. So first of all, I'll be looking at these things with different level of expertise. You require some things good with technical, as in you will need to code something, you'll need to program something. Those are the different challenges that one faces before starting a blog. So I'll be looking at things wherein you require zero amount of coding or zero amount of effort when it comes to technical part. So first one that we look at is Wix. So Wix is best for non-techies. What it allows us to do is create something for free and creates more of a regular website looking, and it has a lot of themes and customizations. So that's one thing that we would like to look at. But I would not go in much detail about this because I would not recommend it, as there are a lot of securities, not so much customization that you can do. With Wix, what happens is most of the things are very much boxed out, that you can only put things over here, and only text can be only placed over here, images can only be placed over here. So that creates a lot of limitations when it comes to creativity. So this is one thing, but you can look at it for Wix. And the way to do that is, if you open up Wix.com, you'll be able to see that it offers a free blog, and you can create a free website on these kind of platforms. And it offers a lot of templates which are ready made. So depending upon your topic of interest, you can pick up any of these templates and get started with it immediately. So all you need to do is click on edit and start creating your own view for this. So you can edit the text, you can edit, but most of the things would be in the way it's designed in, because it's for free. So now looking at the second part, which we have, is Medium. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Medium is not a place where you can create your own website, but it's a place where you can create your own presence. Now, Medium is visited by over 60 million readers per month. This is data that we have, but it keeps on increasing every time. So what it provides you is readily available audience. Because with Wix and all, what happens is you'll have to create the page, but not many people are going to know about it. You'll have to share it using WhatsApp, or you'll share it on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn page. And that's how you get audience towards your created blog. But Medium offers you a readily available audience. So if I'll tag it, I am sure that I'll be seen by more number of people organically, which we call it as people coming to me directly without much effort or marketing that I have to do. So this works as a great effort without much effort in it. So this is one more site if you have to create just into lighting blogs. So over there, it will be just like creating a Word document and just letting it be where it is. And people will come as the time progresses. But I'll be talking more in depth about WordPress and why this should be the preferred medium for creating and writing your own blogs, because it offers a lot of customization and has a lot of security inside it built in. And it's perfect for creating any serious website to even long-term planning that you might have. But there are two versions of it, which confuses a lot of people. One is WordPress.com and the other is called as WordPress.org. So let's look at them one by one. So what WordPress.com offers is it's a free tool or a free hosting that is available over there. You don't need to purchase anything. You can set it up for free. You just need to set in a domain name or a choice of your name, and that would translate into the website URL, which you can share with others. And if you are going for WordPress.org, what org offers you is the complete package or the software tool, which you have to then host it on your own. You have to purchase your own domain, pay for storage, and remove ads on your own and things like that. So it's a costly affair, but not too much of an expense. Overall, it would come down to less than 5,000 rupees a year, which is very less. And if you get a good bargain, you can get up to 10,000 rupees for 3 years, which is very less. It's around 3,300 per month roundabout. So that's a good way to go about it if you are going for a complete control over your website. But if you don't want complete control, you just want to experience the blogging part of it and also have your own URL and things like that, then you should go for the WordPress.com. Now, the reason why I'm choosing for WordPress is because WordPress is used by plenty of Fortune 500 websites and even the well-known big news magazines having their own websites, like the New York Times. Even the news channels have their own websites created using the WordPress engine. When we look at what is the number of percentages in terms of what are the different CMS. So WordPress forms in the family of content management systems, which is called as CMS for short. And WordPress holds about 60% of the entire content management systems. So this, along with the others like Drupal, Joomla,
आवाज आ रही
are also there.
वो एक ही चल रहा है ये थोड़ी चल रहा है इसमें तो आपको इसी
Hello. Yeah. So when we look at the whole market share of WordPress, you can see that technology wise and also the number of websites being created is the highest number in WordPress. Hence, I tell you to choose WordPress because then the longevity is also there for your website. So 34% of the entire web today, which includes all the websites, including corporate websites, including blogs, are all being used by WordPress or using WordPress as a platform to create over there. Now, reasons why you should go more for WordPress is that it's easy to set up and use it for free. So we'll start setting up our own WordPress blog. So we'll look at the first is the free one. So we'll go to wordpress.com and all you need to do is click on start your website. And you'll have to sign up using a username, password, or if you have a Google account, you can just use that Google account to sign in easily. Now it will tell you to choose a domain. Now, this is a domain that if you already have a domain, you can start from here, or else you can use any of the names that you want to use. I'll be using this as a name. So it's telling me to purchase that domain and we can get started from here, or else if you already have a domain, you can start using that. So that will end up into help you creating the very first blog page. And what you end up is in the backend is something like this. If you create using the WordPress.com or .org, you will have an interface like this. Inside that, you will see two parts, which are known as posts, and the other is known as pages. So all you need to do is keep on dealing between these two, and to understand clearly the difference between these two is a post is something that is being done for a particular day or particular event or a particular topic that you want to talk about. And pages are something that are going to be static, are going to be there forever. So everything on your page is going to be something like about us or things that you want to put about yourself. If someone wants to contact you, want to put in your contact details, you'll create a contact us page. So all these are going to be static pages and they'll be there forever, which you can add into the menu. And the posts are things that will always keep on changing or keep on randomly, or you can create them chronologically as well, or change them around, order around them. So there's a lot of things that you can do customizationally, but ideally what it does is it creates things in the basic order. That is, what is the latest would come out first, and then it will keep on going down. So you can create your own blog post like this. And inside this, what you can do is you will get a word editor, which is very easy to use and also understand the basics within that. So you'll see the text is over here in the center, and it gives you the ability to visually edit it. What I mean by visually is that it's very similar to how you edit things in Word document. So there you have it. So if you want to make anything bold, so there is an entire options of different formatting options that you have. So you can bold something if you want, and all you need to do is click on update, and these things will then be visible in what we call it as the front end. So the people outside will be able to see whatever you have pasted and whatever you're putting through in the very same way as we are writing it. Now you can see this big image that's coming. Now that image is coming because we have created a featured image. So I'll be talking about all these things in depth as we go ahead. But this is how easy it is to just launch your own uh, website and blog and start writing it. So along with that, it gives you a lot of options to, wait, 1 second. Yeah. So along with setup and the ease of use, you also get a lot of free layouts and themes. So these themes allow you to change the look and feel of the website at a click of a button. And there's a massive support of the forum. So if in case if you get stuck and you're not able to figure out how to do certain things, you can just type into Google and you will find a lot of videos to help you out with things. Now your blog will also be very fast and functionality form, everything is going to be perfect. So all you need to do is interact with people. So that is also already built in. What it allows you to do is let people comment on it and also create social interactions. Now, there are certain things that if you're doing on any of the free blog sites, that will happen is that you won't be able to own your own domain. What do I mean by owning your own domain? Is if you don't pay for the domain name, what you will end up URL like this. That's going to be your blog, whatever the name you give it, with the extension of the hosting from where you're taking it. So it will be WordPress.com if you take it from WordPress.com, or if you're taking Blogspot, it will be like this. And if you do it on Tumblr, it's going to be like this. So the biggest problem is that it looks ugly. It looks very cluttered. So purchasing your own domain is a useful thing to do and a must for any of the new bloggers, and it doesn't cost too much. So how to purchase it? All you need to do is go to GoDaddy, which is one of the most preferred domain name hosting providers which are there, and you can also get your domains over here and just type in the name that you want to see. So let's say I'm looking for this particular domain name. So it will give me a lot of options. If it's already taken, it will give me other options which are available, other extensions that I can go for. And they start from as little as, now don't be very happy looking at this 100 rupees figure because it's never 100. It's always written as for the first year. So you have to purchase for 2 years. In other words, but overall the prices are going to be higher if you go for anything which is very unique. But if you go for any of the existing ones like a .in or a .com, it's always cheaper. So .in is available for 600 rupees. That's how you have to look at. Don't look at this figure. But this figure helps you to make it less. So if I'm going to add this to my cart for 2 years, and all I need to do is check out the cart. Yeah, so we don't need any of this. Always make sure that you are making this as a no. Otherwise, you'll be charged extra for creating emails which you don't actually need. So the typical cost of setting up your own domain for even as much as 2 years is going to be as less as 800 rupees or close to 900 rupees in this case. So it just depends. If you go for .com, it's going to be even cheaper. So that's one of the main things that you need to do is purchase your own domain, and that will help you to create your own identity in the people and help you to also grow that and give you more encouragement because you have your own name or the name choice of name attached to it. Then there are some limits which are being put by these free blogs, and they'll try to monetize. So there'll be certain areas wherein their ads would show up on your blog or on your posts, and that's how they basically are able to keep themselves afloat by making the free blogs available for you, but people are being shown ads in the other way. That is there. And along with that, there's also be some limitations that you can't upload videos. You will not be able to put in images of your own. There'll be some limitations that you will be only able to upload up to 50 MB or maybe 100 MB of images that are there. So that will create a lot of limitations in terms of your own creativity. And the third part is you don't own the blog. So the biggest problem that happens is like in the case of even Google Plus, which was there, and Orkut also that were there. So these were all free created with ad as monetization, but over a period of time, if they see that, yeah, this is not becoming viable or sustainable, they just close it down. So all your effort that you've put into making your own blog, writing your own blog goes away with these deletions that they are doing periodically. So first thing is to understand, I've been using these terms as domain and hosting. What do they mean? So in simpler terms, what domain means is domain is the thing that you type into the address bar on the top that enables you to access a particular website which you want to see. So like Google, address of Google is going to be something different. It's going to be numbers which are there. So to put it in short, domain is like purchasing a SIM card with a phone number on it. The phone number helps you to reach out to a person, and hosting is more like a cell phone that you have. So you can change your hosting plan. So you can change your cell phones as you want it, but the SIM card is what becomes your main identity, is how the messages or people can reach out to you. So domain is very much key. Keep your domain, do not sell your domain. There have been people who have started putting an effort into creating in their blogs, purchased a domain, and after 2 years they lost interest or they forgot about it, that they had to renew it, and it went away. Now they, when they want to purchase it back, the prices are much higher to purchase it back. The purchase of a domain of which would be doing well, or maybe very much even if you've lost that particular domain, is as high as 4,500 rupees for a year, and even higher than that. Certain domains go out for as much as 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, because of the market demands that are there around it. So always, if you purchase a domain of your liking, keep on investing into it if you want to use it for a much serious part of your life as going ahead. Then hosting is something that you can keep on changing. It's something that you can invest as and when you want it. There are many more hosting options that you can get apart from the ones that I've shared along with you. Now comes the part of designing a WordPress blog, which is how you can quickly change the aspect or the UI part of it, which we call it as. So let's say right now my website is looking like this, or my blog looks in this fashion. And you can see that there's a logo over here on top. You can see this is how the menu is being seen. And on the right hand side, I have some of my recent posts. That is what all things I've been doing on these particular days. That's being posted up over there. And that's about it. So it's a very plain vanilla kind of theme that just is plain white, but I want it to be more vibrant. I want to see more colors. I can just go over here into themes. I can add new themes, or I can select the ones that are already there. So what these themes are doing is allowing me to change the look and feel of my website at a click of a button. So here, if I'll do live preview, you can see the very same website is now looking very different. So you'll have to put in some efforts into customizing this, but how the look and feel of the website is now changing entirely. So this is how the new blog posts are being seen. You see, this is the very same blog post design. It's completely changed and altered from what we had earlier. So this allows you to change the look and feel of the theme of or what we call it as a theme. You can also customize it or change them on the fly. So there's not much coding that is required. You can just click on any of the themes and straight away get into those particular themes and use them. So if you go to the WordPress.org themes, this allows you to look at many more theme options or designs that you can go for. You can go for any of the business kind of look, or if you're looking for a more artistic kind of an outlook, you can also go for those. And this will completely change the look and feel of the website. So let's install this theme. Now, what is happening over here when we click install and everything is that the hosting is, it's like a operating system or a machine that is loaded out over there on the server. So there it takes and all these files and it that then installs it on that server, so it becomes readily available for everybody who's accessing the web. So now my you can see the font has changed, and if I want to change or put in my logo or designs that I've created, I can just click on this button, select logo, and upload my own files. And if I've already uploaded the files, I can just type in over here and it will show me all the different options that I can start using in the top corner as a logo. So now I've added in the logo, so it gives me the ability to change also this black background and everything. So all that can be done using these basic theme options and settings, and coloring options are also there. Like the main body, if I want to change the body background from black to, let's say, any of the other colors, I can just do it at the click, and it will start showing those things in the open. So a couple of terms that we have to remember is a header is at the start of the page, and what we have it at the bottom is what we call it as a footer.
At the bottom is what we call it.
And in the center part, whatever we have, we call it as a body. So this is a basic thing that you'll have to come across with in most of these elements when you're trying to change them. And if you want to change the navigation color, navigation or the menu are these items that you can see at the top. So you can change their color also. So these are known as menu links. So these menu links, I'll be changing them. I'll keep them white for the moment because it's going along with this purple color. So you can customize, you can change, you can add in your own identity and play around with this using the WordPress customizations which are readily available. Okay, I can see someone has raised an hand.
Hi, Tejas.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, you spoke about buying the domain name.
Right.
My question is related with, whether it's a part of the WordPress or is it a separate thing? I mean, is it a sort of a website that you own when you buy a domain name, or is it a part of the WordPress itself?
Okay. So when we are buying a domain name, it's a separate thing altogether. It's the very same analogy that I gave you. It's like a SIM card. Now the SIM card could be like Airtel, Vodafone. So you're purchasing the phone number. You never purchase just the phone along with it. The phone is something that you're buying from Samsung, could be an Apple. So it's a different part. So that's the website part. A website requires a web hosting to be there. Buying is only the name part of it or the phone number part of it. How do we get access to it is what we are purchasing. We are paying for it. And for that, what we have is there are these domain servers that are there, which we call it as domain name servers. Sorry, if I'm getting a little bit technical, but I try to avoid it as much as possible. But there are these domain name servers which are there. So think about them
Okay.
as the PO box numbers that you have or the postal service.
Right.
It helps you to
Mhm.
identify which area you belong to. So, for example, Tejas Hoskati, I might have 4 or 5 addresses in the entire country, but which one am I talking about would be identified using the PIN code, using the exact address that we have. So, in our case, the addresses are too long, but a phone number is unique. It's only accessible by one person or one mobile phone, and that's how we identify a phone number. Or a WhatsApp is also attached to one single phone number as an ID. So what we are purchasing when we are buying a domain is an ID.
Mhm.
It's like a just the URL part, not the web hosting.
That's right. So is it a part of the WordPress or is it a separate entity in itself, on
It's
the web?
it's a separate entity on the web.
Okay, all right, fine. All
So
right, fine.
there
Thank you.
is
Yeah.
registrars that are there which help you to so it's basically like putting the registry book, like who is the person who owns this particular domain and where it's being hosted. So all these servers in the
That's
world
right.
know about
Thank you.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. So just to clarify how the domain also helps in identifying geographically is, let's say if I type in Google, and what happens by default is most of you would be taken to google.in, but you can see that I'm being taken to google.com. So these are two separate domain names, and you can switch them from the bottom over here. Use the precise location. If you want to change from .com to .in, you have the option to do that. If I just type in .in, so it will go to google.co.in. You can see. So this is the Indian domain for Google. So you'll see all the different options of going into languages like Hindi and all that. So domain is just the address bar of it. Where it accesses is the hosting. It changes. Now getting more into the actual part of when we start blogging is the difficulties that people face is that we are all writing this for an audience. We are all writing this for people to see what our thoughts are or what our knowledge that we have, and we want to share that with the world. But there are certain mistakes that we do, and I'm covering the mistakes first, then I'll talk about what you can do to enhance your blogs. Because when I know what are the things not to do, I'll be able to explore the other things, because I know this is not supposed to be touched or this is not supposed to be done. Is you saw when I was playing around with the design also, that you should not use a dark background and a light text, because this, what it does is it creates a very difficult readability point. But that's one of the first things that people tend to do whenever they start writing a blog or they try to choose a theme. They'll use something that's a dark background, which would be a coffee color, which can be dark black, but it doesn't look good. Yeah, there's someone who's raised an hand. Oh,
Nobody at the moment, I think.
okay, fine. So second is, don't put too much clutter. By this, what I mean is we all are used to writing long paragraphs, big paragraphs, and what that tends to do is add in a lot of clutter. So what is a general example is, if you look at this slide that I'm showing with you, it has everything together as much as possible, and it looks very cluttered, even though it has bullet forms onto it. And if you look at this blog post, what I tend to do is always have a rule: don't use more than 4 lines or more than 3 lines that it should take. And the basic principle is use 3 sentences or 2 sentences. And if there's something that actually is being combined together, then only use maximum amount of sentence. So just to share with you as an example, I'm going to show you the main page that I have. You can see that I've broken in as much as possible into different uh, parts, but you can still see that they are bigger paragraphs. So as a user, the people are not going to be so attentive. So what I need to do is break them up into smaller parts as much as possible. So this should be the ideal height of any paragraph, should not be going more than this. Otherwise it looks cluttered, even in a normal page. Yeah, there's someone who's raised a hand again.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, Ghosh madam.
Yes, I just wanted to know, Tejas, that you are saying, suppose I'm writing a story.
Right.
Obviously, in a story, there are larger or bigger paragraphs. So in between, I break it. I don't think, it will sound sensible. I mean, the meaning may change or the feeling may change of the story. So while writing a story in a blog, how
Right.
can I minimize, how can I make small paragraphs?
Okay.
I mean,
So to give you the best example of it, always look at any of the children's book that you have. You'll find that even if the stories are more in the form of a paragraph, single lines that are there more effectively, or two lines work more effectively. And you can add in images wherever you are breaking in a continuity. So as a reader, what happens is you might find it very difficult to break a big paragraph. Yeah. So in terms of big storytelling kind of scenarios, always remember that the people or the audience that we have today are less used to reading books, because books are where we used to find everything written together in novels and all, being text heavy. But as we have went ahead, the reading pattern has changed. People tend to enjoy things in smaller bites or paragraphs. So when we are writing, if a sentence or a particular paragraph demands to be explained in a longer form, uh, break it as much as possible into points, or into as an emphasis kind of a thing, that this is something that they can read over a period of time, but it just has to be broken down visually into paragraphs. We are not breaking the continuity of the chain in terms of the thought process. Reading becomes easier when it's in the form of paragraph on the web domain.
okay, thank you.
Now, one of the basic things which people tend to do is use photos which are available on the Google and just start applying them, or using, even as much as copying someone else's content entirely and putting them into the blog. So this is officially, or this is actually an offense. And the US copyright actually says that even if I acknowledge it, even if I tell that this is a source from where I've got it, it's still a copyrighted material, which does not substitute that you have obtained the permission. So in certain cases, if you are looking for images or photographs, what I'll generally tell you is to look out for something known as Creative Commons, or whenever you're searching in Google. So let me help you out with this. Let's say I want to look at a kingfisher bird. I want to use this in my blog. So over here in more, in terms of the tools that you have user rights over here. So here you can use certain things that are to be used for non-commercial use, and these are the images that you can freely use without much copyright issues. Other than this, if you're using any of these uh, images, you will always see that there is this notification that comes along: images may be subject to copyright. So there have been cases wherein I've worked with bigger companies wherein they have had these kind of smaller issues also, including logo. So you cannot use a company's logo also without their permission, because if it's altered even by, we stretch the logo a bit, they can put a stop to it. Then they'll tell us not to use this logo or change the logo entirely. So be careful about what you're doing on the internet, because uh, there could be consequences that your website or your domain can also be taken out entirely. And even in terms of content, there's also a tool known as Copyscape. So this Copyscape allows you to copy paste your content inside a box, and it tells you how much amount of it is original or whether it's been copied from a particular website which already exists on the web. Now looking at the tips for how to write. Now we all are writing so that people can see us. But in this modern age of digital age, there's so much of things around us that we don't know whether something is going to be seen by people or not. So there we term to use these kind of SEO terms, which we call it as keywords. So what these keywords help us is to focus on the certain things that are going to be more relevant to the audience or more relevant to the people who are there. Otherwise, what happens is, as researchers or as blog writers, we tend to go into our own creative realms and we start to write our own thought process entirely. But for being presentable on the web or being more user friendly to them, write as if you're their own friend, as if you're their neighbor, and in a very friendly fashion, in a very simple words that you can use. And wherever you are using any difficult words or any technical terms, try to put in a description or a definition about that particular word that's being used. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult for normal readers to enjoy what is being shared. So use certain keywords as your focus, as the main part of your uh, article that you want to write. So for example, if I want to write about, let's say, the kingfisher bird, I'll look at kingfisher bird as my main focus area. And when I look at what Google presents me, what kingfisher bird is, so these are the kind of things that people are usually looking for. Why is kingfisher bird called a kingfisher bird? What is special about the kingfisher bird? So these are all pointers that help you out to brush out your information. So these will help you to know what exactly or which direction you have to research upon. And those points you start writing it down. And then you create the question, and that question has to be answered in the very first paragraph. And then you can keep on explaining them in much more detail as much as possible. And write 3 or 5 subheadings as a structure. Now, how to create this structure is, there's a tool that I'll be sharing with you. Just goes up. Let's say I want to write about kingfisher bird. So there's this website which helps you out in this process, or the creative thinking process. It's known as Answer the Public, answerthepublic.com. So over here, I'll just go and I'll type in kingfisher bird, because this is the main keyword that I'm looking or want to talk about today. And what this will give me is a very nice visual key chart, which helps me out to understand what are the different things that I can talk about. So kingfisher bird, when it's where, so basically what are the different types of where kingfisher bird topics are there. So you can write about where kingfisher bird is found in India. That is one question that you can put it as a subheading, and then start answering that in 2 or 3 lines. Then talk about the second subheading is like, where do kingfisher birds live? Or if you want to talk about which, then you can talk about things like what kingfisher birds eat, research upon them, and then answer them. So these kind of things will give you more topics about a particular keyword that you didn't even explore or think about earlier. But these are the questions that people have in mind, and these are color coded. The more green it is, or the more visually bold it is, the color, it's more relevant or more being asked by people. Some of these questions may not sound to be relevant or may not even sound to be proper English, like who are kingfisher bird? But this is how the internet is today. People are using it in their own format. So you'll see different ways of these questions popping up. Don't worry about them. Form your own questions around this and what is relevant to the particular topic that you are talking about. So this is one great tool to look out for, which I use. So look at these 3 to 5 subheadings that are structured, then continue explaining these subheadings as you go ahead. Now, always remember to add full width image at the top. Now we are adding this image at the top and making these subheadings and these structured ways so that we can be featured onto Google and be seen by Google. And there's one more thing that is there we need to do is look for text and images. Now this is something which is very new, but Google has started looking at web pages not just in a textual format, but also by taking screenshots of the entire page and then converting those images into text and then looking whether those relevant things are being covered into the particular subject topic or not, because that's how they've started understanding the web pages better and blogs. So we need to do this. And then the last part is develop alt tags for images. So what do we mean by this alt tag images and what do we do with this featured image on top is, I'll just share that with you. Going back to this very same blog that we have, I'll click on edit post. So I'll go into the edit mode for this particular post. So here's my featured image. Now you can see what I've tried to do in the image itself. Is I have used the text over here. I have used text on this image which is there to enable it that this is a very relevant page for people who are looking. So this image would be then captured by Google and then converted into text. Whatever text part is there, it will try to capture it out and see if that is matching to the title and also the alt tag. What do you mean by alt tag is when you're adding this image, you'll see a box over here at the right, which is saying alt text. So this alt text was brought into HTML structure since HTML4 when it was introduced as a coding method. And what this enables us to do is visualize the content when you're not able to see. So this was intended for the disabled people to actually come online and start interacting. So this alt text helps people to see or understand what this image is when they're not able to see it. So if I write what this image is about, so this is teach online with Zoom. So this becomes my alt text. So when I save this as the image and update it, Okay, one more thing. Whenever there is an update that is happening on these pages, do not disturb it because it's a process that's happening on the server. So there's a speed amount that is there is a little bit of lag which you might see, but don't be afraid. It doesn't go anywhere. And once you see that the post has been updated, things are fine. And then you have to refresh it. So after refresh, you can see that this is the image that we have. Now this image, if it were not loaded, then that particular text would show up over here, what we have written into this box, which is known as the alt text. So have this habit of writing this alt text because that enables you to see or helps the Google to see the content when it's not able to see. Why do I say that? Is because Google doesn't see the web page as we have it over here. What Google actually sees is if you right click and you do view page source, this is the content which is being fed to Google. This is the code which is sent to Google. So this is all the coding part which we have overlooked when we have used the theme and the page. But the main part of the content is somewhere hidden in this code line, which is there. So alt tag is one of the ways in which we can tell Google that this particular image or this particular article talks about this particular keyword which we are curious about. And yeah, last part is try to insert in more links in your article. Now these links could be external or internal, that is within your own website or your blog. If you have written about something earlier on your earlier post, you can link to there, and also put in external links in social engagement. You can put in your Facebook URL, you can put in your WhatsApp phone number so that people can get in touch with you. So all these help out in social engagement and being more relevant out there, because we are all looking for comment and love from people at the end of any blog that we have written, because that helps us to get a feedback and then do and perform much better or write much better as we go ahead. We'll always make mistakes the very first time. Don't be afraid about it, but you have to learn from those mistakes and keep on going ahead. So these internal and external links will help you out to reach out to people and also have people to come to you using Facebook and all those other mediums. And with that, I have concluded my talk in a way, but the session is still going to go on. So if you have any more questions, because I've tried to make this session as generic as possible, as basic as possible without getting too much technical. And sure, you can now start asking questions if there are any, or certain things that if I've overlooked in my presentation to start off. Yeah.
तेजस जी,
Yeah.
आपका स्क्रीन शेयर बंद कर दो अगर ये नहीं करना हो तो.
Okay.
So we can have some very informal conversation and हिंदी में करते हैं बातचीत थोड़ी.
Okay.
तो
Sorry, I forgot.
बेसिक बात थोड़ी सी वही आपने काफी कुछ उसमें समझा दिया, लेकिन अब कैरियर कॉलेज में कैरियर इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंस जो कि हॉस्पिटल है, पब्लिक स्कूल जो कि एक K-12 CBSE स्कूल है, तो इन लोग को ब्लॉग क्यों लिखना चाहिए और वेबसाइट पे ब्लॉग क्यों होना चाहिए, ये बताओ आप पहले.
Okay. So आज कैसे हो गया because of this COVID-19 issue that is raised. Teaching is no longer going to be the same as what it was a year ago. कि हम लोग students को एक बार पढ़ा दिया और जो भी classroom में हो गया, they used to write it down in their notes. So that is not going to be always reliable, and it's not also repeatable as a model. What blogs help us to do is whatever creativity and content that we have, या हम लोग जो पढ़ाना चाहते हैं वो हम लोग एक बारी में उसको लिख दे whenever we are free. There is no time restriction. हम लोग वो रात को भी कर सकते हैं जब कोई यानी कि जब सब लोग शांत हो, हमें तभी आसानी पड़ेगी वीडियो बनाने में या कोई ऑडियो फाइल्स बनाने में, तो आप कभी भी कर सकते हो उसको पोस्ट करने के बाद में. और दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि स्टूडेंट्स भी या ऑडियंस भी उसको कभी भी पढ़ सकते हैं. So it gives flexibility to both the teachers also as well as the students, कि वो जब चाहिए तब पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं, और अगर उन्होंने पढ़ा है तो वो हम लोग एक्चुअली देख भी सकते हैं। कहीं कहीं पे ऐसे सॉफ्टवेयर्स भी है, कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर ऐसे मैं भी बना रहा हूँ जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स की अटेंडेंस भी हो। इनफैक्ट हम लोग कितना स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं, कितना उन्होंने पढ़ा है, वैसे भी डेटा हम लोग उसके साथ में जोड़ सकते हैं, और ये सब एक नया लर्निंग प्रोसेस होगा आगे जाके। एक वो, और दूसरा इससे क्या होता है, दूसरा यू आर ऑल्सो टेलिंग अबाउट योर ओन intellectual part or whatever research you have done, because आज तक कैसा हुआ है, students are only looking at you towards whatever you're teaching through structure, which is the syllabus part or which is the textbook or whatever's there to be taught inside the class. We are looking time bounded effort. So here, using blogs, you can go more free, you can be more creative, you can put in your own opinions freely also, and start creating an image about yourself in the social media platform, which is more relevant today.
तो जो विषय में जो भी फैकल्टी मेंबर या बिजनेसमैन या कोई भी है जिसके बारे में वो अपनी नॉलेज शेयर करना चाहता है और ऑडियंस को वो इंफॉर्मेशन, नॉलेज, कंटेंट देना चाहता है, उसके लिए लिखते हैं। तो उससे वेबसाइट, जो एग्जिस्टिंग वेबसाइट्स हैं हमारी, उसमें क्या कुछ फायदा होता है? लोग सर्च करते हैं तो वेबसाइट पे आएंगे, या संस्थान को एज अ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्या फायदा होगा? आप हिंदी में बोलो, आप बीच में ऑटोमेटिकली इंग्लिश पहुंच जाते हो।
सॉरी, थोड़ी आदत है, तो आई एम रियली सॉरी अबाउट दैट, बट कोशिश करता हूँ कि, अच्छा माफ कीजिएगा, हिंदी में भी अभी क्षमा चाहता हूँ, ऐसे बोलना पड़ेगा मुझे, बट कोशिश करूँगा कि हिंदी में जितना हो सके। सो अभी इंस्टीट्यूशंस के लिए, और दिस इज ये एक ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटी है हमारे सबके सामने, जहाँ पे एक ऐसा पड़ाव आया है हम लोग के सामने कि हम लोग जो भी कुछ करें वो हमेशा के लिए रह सकता है। अगर हम लोग इंस्टीट्यूशंस के वेबसाइट पे बनाए, इंस्टीट्यूशंस के ब्लॉग के ऊपर हम लोग अपने ब्लॉग्स लिखे, तो इंस्टीट्यूशन हमेशा तो चलते रहने वाली है, और वो उसको डोमेन को बार बार परचेज करती रहेगी, होस्टिंग जो कॉस्ट है वो बार बार भरती रहेगी, तो वो हमेशा के लिए चलता रहेगा। सो आप जो भी लिखोगे, आपने जो भी कहा है, वो सारी चीज़ें वहाँ पे it's more like engraved in the internet world. तो हमेशा के लिए वो रहेगा, बट जरूरी नहीं है कि वो लोगों तक पहुंच पाए अगर मैं खुद से वो वेबसाइट बनाऊं। अगर मैं खुद का वेबसाइट बनाता हूँ, खुद का ब्लॉग बनाता हूँ, तो मुझे एफर्ट्स डालने पड़ेंगे, मुझे पैसे डालने पड़ेंगे मार्केटिंग के ऊपर, मुझे पैसे डालने पड़ेंगे, या मुझे टाइम डालना पड़ेगा, उसको बार बार पोस्ट करते रहो व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर, फेसबुक के ऊपर, लिंक्डइन के ऊपर, ताकि लोग मेरे लिखित चीज़ों को पढ़े। बिकॉज गूगल जो है वो अचानक से आपको ओवरनाइट दिखाना शुरू नहीं करता है। गूगल का खुद का एक एल्गोरिदम है, और वो ज़्यादा बड़े कंपनियों को या ज़्यादा रिच आर्टिकल्स जहाँ पे हो, उस पर्टिकुलर वेबसाइट को ऊपर लेके आता है। तो ऐसे वक्त पे जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस के जो वेबसाइट्स हैं, या अगर उनके खुद के ब्लॉग्स क्रिएटेड है, तो उनको ज़्यादा फायदा है। एज एन .org और .com, दे कैन शाइन आउट मोर ऑन द गूगल डोमेन, एंड गूगल के ऊपर वो ऑर्गेनिकली भी दिखेंगे, एक वो फायदा है। और दूसरा, आपके आजू बाजू के जितने भी प्रोफेसर्स हैं, या वो जब लिख रहे हैं, तो जब बच्चे उनके बारे में पढ़ेंगे, तो वहाँ से वो भी जरूर है कि वो और भी ज़्यादा पढ़ना चाहेंगे, so they'll also start reading about your article, so there'll be also sharing of knowledge that will happen.
Dr. Ruchi Dubey, madam.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की वेबसाइट थोड़ी विजिबिलिटी बढ़ जाएगी। That's so?
Community is much more important.
ये आप जो बता रहे थे, मतलब मेरा जो ओपिनियन है, राइटिंग स्किल्स इनहेरिटेड होती हैं, वायर्ड नहीं होती हैं। सो कुछ ऐसा स्किल्स बताइए कि जिन लोगों में राइटिंग स्किल्स इनहेरिटेड नहीं है, वो कैसे एक अच्छा ब्लॉग लिख सकते हैं, कैसे वो उसको ऐसा बना लें कि ऐसा लगे कि उनके अंदर भी ये क्वालिटी इनहेरिटेड है, क्योंकि हर लोग अच्छा लिख नहीं सकते, हर कोई अच्छा बोल नहीं सकता। तो इज इट पॉसिबल कुछ ऐसे स्किल्स हैं जिसके थ्रू जिनको नहीं भी आता है वो भी बहुत अच्छा ब्लॉग लिख सकते हैं?
राइट, एंड इस क्वेश्चन को मैं थोड़ा और बढ़ाऊंगा. See, most of the faculties today are of a generation, या वो वहाँ से आए हुए जहाँ पे उन्होंने ज़्यादा कंप्यूटर के साथ में काम नहीं किया हुआ है. इट्स वेरी लिमिटेड ऑल्सो टू टाइप. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड अ की, लाइक क्यू कहाँ पे है, ये क्वेश्चन मार्क कहाँ पे है, या बहुत सारी दिक्कतें उन्हें भी आती है कि ब्रैकेट्स कैसे डालना है, यहाँ तक भी आ सकता है. सो ये सारे चैलेंजेस है फॉर फैकल्टीज टू राइट देयर ओन ब्लॉग्स ऑल्सो टू स्टार्ट. तो इसमें एक चीज जो मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करके आपके सामने बताऊंगा is one of the tools that you can use. अगर आप अभी जीमेल तो सब लोग यूज करते ही है, तो जीमेल में गूगल डॉक्स करके एक आता है चीज, सो आप ये टूल यूज कर सकते हो. गूगल डॉक्स में एक प्रावधान है जहाँ पे आई कैन स्टार्ट वॉइस टाइपिंग. ओके, सो वॉइस टाइपिंग में क्या होता है कि मुझे टाइप करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. सो यहाँ पे क्लिक करना है और उसके बाद में जो भी हम लोग कहेंगे वो टाइप होते जाएगा. सो दिस इज जस्ट आपको अलाउ करना है एज अ परमिशन. सो दिस इज जस्ट यू कैन सी दैट कि जो भी मैं बोलते जा रहा हूँ, जैसे बोलते जा रहा हूँ, वो सारी चीजें उसी तरह से. इट्स जस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द वर्ड्स इवन विच आर देयर. कहीं कहीं पे गलत होगा, बट दिस एनेबल्स अस टू करेक्ट देम. सो अगर हम लोग इंग्लिश में कुछ लिखना चाहते हैं, टुडे we'll be talking about Kingfisher board. So आप देख रहे हो कि मेरी टाइपिंग स्पीड से भी जल्दी फास्ट मैं बोलता हूँ और वो चीज़ टाइप हो जाती है. So ये करने के बाद में आप जो ऑनलाइन है, बहुत सारे टूल्स अवेलेबल है जो आपको स्पेल चेक करवाते हैं, ग्रामर चेक करवाते हैं. सो प्लीज स्टार्ट यूजिंग दिस, बिकॉज आप जब लिख रहे हो तो स्वाभाविक है कि आदत नहीं है लिखने की, टाइपिंग करने की, तो गलतियां होंगी. प्रोफेशनल ब्लॉगर्स भी जो है, दे नेवर राइट एनीथिंग, जस्ट पोस्ट इट. दे ऑलवेज डू स्पेल चेक. वो हमेशा ग्रामर चेक करते हैं बिफोर दे put anything online. So please start using this tool which is there, which helps you to create the blogs much faster.
Thank you. Actually, my question was that how to acquire the creative writing skills.
Okay. See, creative writing skills हर किसी के पास में नहीं होता.
Yeah, that was my question actually.
Right. But कुछ basics है जो हम लोग कर सकते हैं.
Yeah.
For example, हर कोई artist नहीं बन सकता, पेंटर नहीं बन सकता, बट हर कोई कैन रंग भर सकता है रेखाओं के अंदर, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं. जो बाउंड्रीज है, जो बेसिक्स है, वो अगर आप कर सकते हो, जैसे मैंने जो भी कवर किया है कि क्वेश्चंस लिखिए, 3 आंसर में आप उसका जवाब लिखते जाइए, 3 लाइन्स या 4 लाइन से ज्यादा एक पैराग्राफ मत कीजिए. इमेजेस डालिए जितना हो सकता है, और इमेजेस जो है खुद के बनाइए पेंट यूज करके, या फोटोग्राफी भी कर सकते हैं खुद का, कुछ एनीथिंग दैट यू कैन कीप योरसेल्फ एंगेज. एंड वो सारी चीजों से आप खुद की दूसरी जगह पे जो क्रिएटिविटी है आपकी, वो वहां पे लेके आ सकते हैं.
Thank you.
Ghosh madam, you were to ask.
या तेजस, मुझे पूछना था कि ब्लॉगिंग तो बहुत लोग करते हैं, बहुत लोग ब्लॉगिंग लिखते हैं, लेकिन पढ़ते कितने लोग हैं? कोई डेटा अवेलेबल है क्या अपने पास? इंडिया में कितने लोग पढ़ते हैं? आजकल तो व्हाट्सएप पे कोई बड़ा सा मैसेज तो वो नहीं पढ़ते हम लोग, 5 मिनट से ऊपर का भी वीडियो तो नहीं देखते हम लोग, इग्नोर कर देते हैं क्योंकि नहीं देखने का टाइम है इतना. तो कितने लोग ब्लॉगिंग पढ़ते हैं, कितने लोग वीडियोस देखते हैं इस तरह के, ताकि अगर इसका फायदा भी मिले, हम करें, मेहनत तो करें तो फायदा हो कुछ.
बिल्कुल. सो इंडिया में जो है आज, क्योंकि न्यूज़पेपर्स भी बहुत सारे जगहों पे अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो न्यूज़ भी जो है हम लोग आज मोबाइल पे देख रहे हैं. और ये जो मिसकंसेप्शन है कि लोग ज़्यादा पढ़ते नहीं है, वो गलत है. इंडिया में लोग काफ़ी ज़्यादा पढ़ते हैं अगर वो इंटरेस्टिंग हो. अगर हम लोग पहले लाइन में ही पता चल जाता है कि नहीं, ये तो मैंने पहले पढ़ दिया है, या ये कोई ऐसे ही किसी ने कुछ लिख दिया है, गलत ग्रामर है, गलत स्पेलिंग है, तो हम लोग आगे पढ़ेंगे भी नहीं. बट अगर कोई सीरियस टॉपिक है जो लोगों ने लिखा है, दिल से लिखा हुआ है, तो हम लोग उसको ज़्यादा पढ़ते हैं। एंड जहाँ तक कि डेटा का सवाल है, जो डेटा अवेलेबल है आज इंटरनेट के ऊपर गूगल के थ्रू इज 95% टू 90% ऑफ द कंटेंट, कि जो भी कुछ लिखा जा रहा है आज इंटरनेट के ऊपर या यूट्यूब के ऊपर, वो इंग्लिश में नहीं है। हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि इंग्लिश में डेटा बहुत ज़्यादा लिखेंगे तो इंडियन ऑडियंस पढ़ती है। वो इंग्लिश में नहीं, वो हिंग्लिश में है। यानी हिंदी और इंग्लिश के जुड़े हुए वर्ड्स या जो वर्ड्स जो इंडियनाइज्ड हो। इसका एक सिंपल उदाहरण ये है कि जो आज हम लोग वर्ड यूज़ कर रहे हैं सब जगहों पे, लॉकडाउन, ये लॉकडाउन वर्ड तो एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं करता, ये प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बनाया हुआ है, बट ये वर्ड जो है अपने आप में एक इंग्लिश वर्ड बन गया। यानी ये इंडिया के बाहर कहीं और यूज नहीं होता। बाहर सारे जगहों पे अलग अलग रिस्ट्रिक्शंस बोले जाते हैं या कर्फ्यू बोला जाता है या अलग अलग वर्ड्स थे पहले, बट ये एक नया टर्म है जो इंडिया ने बनाया हुआ है। और इसका एक और वेरिएबल आप टेस्ट कर सकते हो कि 90% ऑफ जो भी ट्रेंडिंग चीज़ें हैं यूट्यूब के ऊपर, वो भी सारी हिंदी में है। इंग्लिश वीडियोस भी जो है आजकल हिंदी में अपने टाइटल्स लिखना शुरू कर चुकी है, बिकॉज उसका प्रभाव या उसका जो इम्पैक्ट है वो ज़्यादा है। सो जो भी हम लोग कंटेंट लिख रहे हैं आज, वो जितना सिंपलिस्टिक हो और जितना दिल से हो, उतना ज़्यादा उसका रीडेबिलिटी रहता है। एक वो, और कुछ टूल्स है जो हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं ऑनलाइन टू सी हाउ मच, कि कितने लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, कहाँ तक लोग पढ़ रहे हैं और कितना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं हमारे वेबसाइट के ऊपर, एक एक आर्टिकल के ऊपर। वैसे एनालिटिकल टूल्स अवेलेबल हैं, उनमें से एक है गूगल एनालिटिक्स, बट उसके लिए थोड़ी कोडिंग आनी ज़रूरी है कि उसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें, उसको कैसे डाले पेज के अंदर। बट वो अगर आपको डिटेल में चाहिए, अगर आप सीरियसली उसको जानना चाहते हो, तो गेट बैक टू मी पर्सनली, और मैं आपके वेबसाइट और ब्लॉग के ऊपर वो करके दे दूंगा। तो आपको वो सीखने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, और आपको वो डेटा जो है रेलिवेंटली पता चल जाएगा कि कौन लोग हैं आपके ब्लॉग जो रीड कर रहे हैं, कौन सी सिटी से है, कौन से कंट्री से है। बहुत सारे डेटा अवेलेबल है, और कितना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं आपके ब्लॉग के ऊपर। वैसे
हेलो
हेलो
हेलो तेजस सर, संगीता हियर सर।
या मैम।
हेलो सर, एक्चुअली मैं आपका मीटिंग अटेंड कर रही हूँ। मैंने सुना आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि ब्लॉग जो है पैराग्राफ ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए, लार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए। बट सपोज अगर मुझे अपनी कंपनी के बारे में ब्लॉग लिखना है तो वो तो थोड़ा बड़ा ही होगा, फिर उस कंडीशन में क्या करें सर?
देखो, आप जब ब्लॉग और पैराग्राफ के बारे में सोच रहे हो तो आप ऐसे राइटिंग की तरफ जा रहे हो, जहाँ पे ऐसे में हम लोग को बोला जाता था कि स्टार्टिंग जो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ है वो 2 लाइन 3 लाइन का हो, बाद में जो है। तो पैराग्राफ से आप चीज़ों को मत काटिए, आप चीज़ों को जो है वो हेडिंग और टाइटल से काटना शुरू कीजिए।
ओके,
व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दैट इज, आप टाइटल्स दीजिए।
ओके,
होता है हेडर 2, होता है हेडर 3, होता है हेडर 4 होता है। लेट मी जस्ट शो यू दैट एज एन एग्जांपल। तो अभी जैसे ये ब्लॉग है, अगर मैं ऐसे ही बहुत सारा लिखने लगूं तो इट विल लुक वेरी क्लटर्ड। So what we can do is add titles. Use the title as the main heading, and जहाँ पे आप कंपनी के बारे में लिख रहे हो, आप उसको एक हेडिंग दे दीजिए। ये जो हेडिंग है, this is going to be about the company. उसके बाद में आप जैसे जैसे टाइप करते जाए या चीजें लिखते जाए, आप उसको डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पैराग्राफ्स में काटते जाइए। सो रीडर के लिए वो दिमाग में रहता है कि दिस इज स्टिल गोइंग अबाउट द कंपनी। सारी चीजें आप 2-2 3-3 लाइन में काटते जाइए, बिल्कुल कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा रीडिंग के ऊपर, और आपका कंटेंट भी जो है उसी तरह से रहेगा। आप अगर गूगल जैसे रीड करता है तो आपको लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे यहाँ पे पता भी चल जाएगा कि जैसे टाइटल बनाता हूँ, जैसे मैंने अभी इसको H2 दे दिया है, अगर मैं दूसरा उसको हेडिंग 2 दूं तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली पे अंदर इसके बनते जाएगा। सो लेट्स से इट्स मैनेजिंग कंपनी।
ओके, मींस पैराग्राफ चेंज करके या हेडिंग चेंज करके हम उसको थोड़ा लॉन्ग कर सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल, और गूगल जो है, अभी देखिए मैंने अगर स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक कर दिया तो यहीं पे मुझे पता चल जाता है, आई कैन करेक्ट इट। सो यूज थिंग्स लाइक दिस। और ये आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ पे इस तरह से ये सब हेडिंग बन गया है, भले ही वो कहीं और लिखा हो, कैसे भी लिखा हो, बट ये रीडर और गूगल के लिए भी वो इस तरह से एक सब हेडिंग बन जाता है। और ऐसे जो हम लोग सब हेडिंग डालते जाते हैं वो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस बनाने में मदद करता है।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
या
तेजस जी नमस्कार। आपका सेशन बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा था, बहुत सरल तरीके से आपने समझाया कि ब्लॉग कैसे लिखा जाता है।
शुक्रिया।
मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि अगर हम कोई टॉपिक पे ब्लॉग लिखते हैं तो हम ये कैसे इंश्योर करें कि जो ब्लॉग हमने लिखा है उसकी विजिबिलिटी बढ़े। मतलब मान लीजिए कि मैं एक ब्लॉग लिखना चाहती हूँ कि बीसीए में मान लीजिए कि कैसे बेहतर करियर ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है बीसीए में, तो मैं मतलब इसका कैसे इंश्योर करूंगी कि स्टूडेंट या जो भी है इसको पढ़े, मतलब ये ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग पढ़े, ये मैं कैसे इंश्योर करूंगी। ये मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन है। और दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या हम ब्लॉग लिखते समय अगर किसी का कंटेंट में से कुछ डेटा अगर उसमें यूज कर रहे हैं एज इट इज नहीं बट उसका अगर हम रेफरेंस ले रहे हैं तो क्या ब्लॉग के अंदर रेफरेंसेस भी लिखे जाते हैं कि नहीं?
ओके, सो आई विल आंसर देम वन बाय वन क्योंकि दोनों प्रश्न काफी अलग अलग है। पहला वाला जो है कि हम लोग कैसे इंश्योर करें या कैसे बच्चे लोग तक ये कंटेंट को और वायरलिटी करें। सो पहली चीज तो शुरुआत होती है कि हम लोग क्या लिख रहे हैं और किसके लिए लिख रहे हैं। तो इन दोनों चीज़ों को आप ध्यान में रख के अपना जो कंटेंट है वो बनाइए। अभी जो बच्चे हैं वो मोर देन बीइंग टेक्स्ट हैवी, दे आर मोर इनटू इमेजेस, दे लाइक टू सी थिंग्स दैट आर मोर एंगेजिंग फॉर देम। तो आप उसको छोटे छोटे वीडियोस में भी बांट सकते हो या इमेजेस के द्वारा जो आप कहना चाहते हो उसको ही उसका ही एक इमेज बनाइए क्रिएटिवली कि ये सारी चीज़ें जो है जिनको हम लोग बोलते हैं इन्फोग्राफिक्स। तो इसके द्वारा क्या होता है कि वो समझने में इजी होता है। जैसे मैंने पीपीटी में जो है काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें अगर टेक्स्ट में होती तो डिफ़िकल्ट है टू रीड, बट अगर वो इमेज में हो तो आकर्षित भी करता है, कलर्स भी अच्छे होते हैं तो ब्राइट लगता है, तो इट क्रिएट्स मोर एंगेजमेंट। सो एंगेजिंग कंटेंट ज़रूर बच्चों के ऊपर ज़्यादा प्रभाव करेगा या उनको बहुत ज़्यादा अट्रैक्ट करेगा पढ़ने के लिए, एक वो। दूसरा, इसको हम लोग कॉपी करके जो है पेस्ट करें, अगर फेसबुक के ऊपर करें और बाकी सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर करें तो वहाँ पे वो दिखने लग जाता है। यहाँ पे वापस से आई वुड ब्रिंग यू बैक टू दैट फीचर्ड इमेज जो मैंने सबसे ऊपर डाला था, एक बड़ा इमेज जिसके ऊपर टेक्स्ट में सारी चीज़ें लिखी हुई है, वो डालना ज़रूरी है। बिकॉज जब आप फीचर्ड इमेज डालते हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली जब आप उसको अपने फेसबुक के ऊपर शेयर करोगे या वो पर्टिकुलर लिंक अगर आप व्हाट्सएप पे शेयर करते हो तो एक छोटी सी एक इमेज बन जाती है। वो जो इमेज है वो यहाँ से पुल इन करेगा, वो जो आपने फीचर्ड इमेज में डाला है वही इमेज यहाँ पे दिख जाएगा। सो इट विल एक्ट एज अ कॉल टू एक्शन और एक कि अट्रैक्ट करेगा कि बच्चों को हाँ ये इसमें कुछ अट्रैक्टिव लिखा होगा या कुछ है जो नॉलेजेबल है, हम लोग उसकी तरफ जाए तो बच्चे उसके ऊपर क्लिक करके दे विल कम बैक टू दैट। एंड कमिंग टू द सेकंड टॉपिक, रेफरेंसेस कैसे यूज करना है एंड हाउ टू पुट देम। सो देयर इज अ नोन स्ट्रक्चर to blog writing which is very similar to how we write books. Books में भी जो है हम लोग लास्ट में इंडेक्स डालते हैं and also we write references, और कोई रिसर्च बुक्स है तो उसके अंदर so especially whenever we are writing anything medical or anything which is related to health, it's looked more seriously. So there you need to add in references or research papers attached in the link at the bottom. So at the end of the blog, जब आप ब्लॉग को एंड कर रहे हो, एंड करने के बाद में आप अपना नाम लिखिए, आपका डेजिग्नेशन लिखिए और उसके बाद में रेफरेंसेस करके एक हेडिंग दीजिएगा और उस हेडिंग के अंदर आप बुलेट पॉइंट्स में एक एक करके जो भी आपने रेफरेंसेस लिए हुए हैं, जहां से भी आपने आर्टिकल्स लिए हुए हैं वो लिखिए, एक वो। दूसरा, जब भी आप कोई आर्टिकल ले रहे हो या यू आर टेकिंग एनी रिसर्च, टेक द पार्ट ऑफ द टेक्स्ट, कॉपी इट एज इट इज, उसको ऑल्टर मत कीजिए। आप अगर वहां से रिसर्च से कुछ भी चीज ले रहे हो, क्योंकि ऑल्टरिंग एनी ऑफ दोस टेक्स्ट या कोई भी एक वर्ड को भी चेंज करना इज कैन बी कंस्टिट्यूट एज प्लेजरिज्म, और वो रिसर्च नहीं कहलाएगा क्योंकि आपने वो उनके रिसर्च को वर्ड टू वर्ड नहीं यूज किया। तो जब भी बाय लॉ अगर आप कुछ भी यूज कर रहे हो तो यूज दैट वर्ड टू वर्ड एंड पुट दैट इनटू कोट्स। एंड रेफरेंसेस में आप उसको बताइए कि ये कहाँ से लिया हुआ है, उसका लिंक जो ओरिजिनल आर्टिकल का है, और जहाँ पे भी आपने वो कोड डाला हुआ है उनका, वहां पे आप डैश करके लिखिए फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर सोर्स, और वो सोर्स के ऊपर लिंक डाल दीजिएगा, पर्टिकुलर रिसर्च पेपर का है।
थैंक यू सर।
Yes, Ghosh madam.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask a question to Tejas.
Yeah, ma'am.
Tejas, you did not explain about, you did not say anything about Blogger.
About Blogger. So Blogger is also another tool that you can use it, but Blogger also limits. It doesn't give you much creativity, and it's not also widely used. So if you look at one of my slides, the percentage of people using WordPress is way higher. So uski longevity ज़्यादा है, sustainability ज़्यादा है, as compared to e-blogger or something like that. वो कल या परसों भी अगर ज़्यादा लोग उसके ऊपर नहीं हो तो फ्री सर्विस वो बंद कर दे, वो सारी चीज़ें पेड कर दे, और आपने जो भी लिखा हुआ है वो दिखाना बंद कर दे. So that is always a fear that is there. It is open source, but as a community हम लोग सस्टेनेबिलिटी आज कम हो रही है, बिकॉज ब्लॉगर जो है इट रिलाइज अपॉन डोनेशन एंड टू बी देयर इन एग्जिस्टेंस. सो अगर जब तक लोग डोनेट कर रहे हैं तब तक आपका कंटेंट रहेगा. एक बार वो खत्म हो गया तो इवन विदाउट गिविंग अ कंप्लीट नोटिस दे कैन टेक आउट द कंटेंट फ्रॉम देयर. सो इट एडवाइजेबल नॉट टू गो ऑन एनी ऑफ दीस थिंग्स.
Preeti Chandurkar madam.
Thank you.
Preeti madam.
Yes sir. गुड आफ्टरनून सर. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आइडियली कितना वर्ड लिमिट होना चाहिए एक ब्लॉग में?
राइट. ऐसे तो देयर आरंट एनी लिमिट सेट. टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग, या जो गूगल और सारे जो मेट्रिक्स है जो हम लोग देखते हैं कि व्हाट इज नोन एज एन इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड, उसके हिसाब से अगर आप कोई भी एक छोटा आर्टिकल भी लिखते हो या एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर रहे हो तो 3 लाइन इज मोर देन इनफ, और व्हाट वी कंस्टिट्यूट्स एज 250 वर्ड्स टू 300 वर्ड्स विद इन दैट सिंगल 1 or 2 पैराग्राफ्स. एंड देन उससे ज्यादा अगर आप लिखना चाहते हो, इट कैन गो अप टू 1500 और इट कैन गो अप टू 2500 or 3000 words also. But since it's your own blog, since it's your own, so as much as you want to write, you can keep it lengthy. But remember, audience और जो रीडर है वो ज्यादा पढ़ता नहीं है, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ पाएगा. If it's going to be like a newspaper which is entirely on one single page, we don't read it. We like to have different pages. So as much as possible, break your content into smaller parts, which could be up to 1000 words or 2000 words. So ideal ratio that I always keep is, अगर एक छोटा क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर रहे हो and you're not able to find much words to write about it, still try to write minimum 300 words. And if you are having a very big article to write about, then go up to 1500. And the moment you're hitting 1500 or 2000 words, cut it and start another part and call it part 2, part 3, part 4 about that particular topic. So that will create much more spaced out kind of a feel.
Any other question?
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir. I'm Vibha Thakur. And
Yeah.
my question is, why we can't do blending? Like if we are taking some data from somebody else research or somebody else blog, then why we can't blend it with our text? What's wrong in that?
If you're going to be
Thank you.
blending it with your own text, you can't mention that as a source. That's one of the problem that happens. Is जैसे अगर think about yourself whenever you are writing it on the blog, वो चीजें इंटरनेट के ऊपर रहेंगी. वो चीजें वो जिन्होंने रिसर्च पेपर लिखा भी हुआ है वो लोग भी पढ़ेंगे, and they'll feel hurt when they'll see that you have broken the words and tried to interpret it wrongly, because वो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. आप इंटरप्रिटेशन जो है वो अपने पैराग्राफ में लिखिए, बट उन्होंने जो लिखा है या उन्होंने जो कहा है उसको एज इट इज लिखिए, because that is the original content, and it also respects the authenticity or the original artist or the original creator. It respects the original creator who has written it. तो उनके words as it is use कीजिए, उसके बाद में आप अपने words नीचे लिखिए, because that's going to be always a problem, and it's there on the internet. So there could be people who can take a case on that particular thing. If it could be something which is of subject to law or that particular jurisdiction. अगर आपने उनका कोई भी चीज़ है उसको तोड़ दिया है और उसका पूरा मीनिंग ही चेंज हो गया है जो वो पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस था, तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. ऑन और इफ भी अगर चेंज करे तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है, छोटे छोटे वर्ड्स के भी. तो जितना हम लोग उसको अवॉइड कर सकते हैं अवॉइड कीजिए.
Okay, and for citation, we need to use some particular format. Like there are certain formats, तो उनमें से किसी particular format को हमें citation के लिए use करना चाहिए या फिर हम कोई सा भी format ले सकते हैं?
देखिए citation के लिए आप कोई भी format use कर सकते हो. And अगर आप जो हम लोग कोडिंग में बोलते हैं EM करके एक कोड होता है which is used for citation, we use that a lot to code that particular thing. जैसे मैंने आपको बैकएंड दिखाया था कि गूगल को सारी चीज़ें वो टेक्स्ट फॉर्मेट में दिखती है, वो विजुअल नहीं रहती है. तो EM इज जनरली व्हाट वी प्रेफर, बट गूगल इज स्मार्ट इनफ टुडे टू, अगर मैंने कोट्स में भी वो डाली है तो गूगल समझ जाता है कि ये जो चीज़ है दिस इज टेकन फ्रॉम समवेयर एल्स, और दिस इज अबाउट समवन स्पीकिंग अबाउट समथिंग. तो गूगल उसको अलग से कंटेक्स्ट कर लेता है और रीडर को भी समझ में आ जाता है. सो विजुअली जो हम लोग डिस्टिंग्विश कर पाए, दैट इज लेफ्ट अप टू अस.
थैंक यू सो मच सर.
सर एक मेरा क्वेश्चन है.
As a education institute, sir, we wish to enhance the social and academic engagement of our student and other academician too with our blogs. Sir, if we purchased our own domain on WordPress or bloggers, so my question is that can our blog web visibility increases as compared to free domain that we have already using on blogspot.com? फर्क है सर फ्री और जो अपन परचेस करेंगे उनकी वेब विजिबिलिटी पर?
ओके, सो दैट ये दो अलग सवाल है इनके अंदर इन अ वे. बट जो विजिबिलिटी का क्वेश्चन है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, तो ब्लॉगर से भी ज्यादा या ई ब्लॉगर या ब्लॉग स्पॉट है, इनसे भी ज्यादा मोर पॉपुलर इज मीडियम. अगर आप मीडियम के ऊपर आर्टिकल लिखे तो आपको बहुत ज्यादा विजिबिलिटी मिल सकती है. एंड दैट इज नॉट जस्ट 1 or 2 fold, दैट इज 1000 times. मतलब अगर आपको ब्लॉगर और ब्लॉग पोस्ट पे आपको 100 या 500 व्यूज आ रहे, तो वहां पे आपको 5000 या 15,000 तक भी व्यूज जा सकते हैं इन दैट पर्टिकुलर.
इज इट मीडिया सॉरी सर,
medium.com.
मीडियम, ओके सर, थैंक यू सर.
सो medium.com पे आपको ज्यादा विजिबिलिटी लिख सकती है अपने आर्टिकल्स के लिए, बट वो होंगे फॉर फॉरेन ऑडियंस. नाउ अगर हम लोग ने इंग्लिश में आर्टिकल्स लिखे हुए हैं तो 85% ऑफ द पीपल हु आर रीडिंग ऑनलाइन कंटेंट आर फ्रॉम यूएस. इंडिया भले ही हमारे सबके पास में इंटरनेट है, हम लोग हर वक्त इंटरनेट के ऊपर नहीं है, हम लोग हर वक्त रीडिंग नहीं करते हैं. हम लोग फेसबुक के ऊपर, सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर, जो व्हाट्सएप है या और भी इंस्टाग्राम है, ऐसे सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर ज़्यादा समय बिताते हैं, और कभी कभी तो पता भी नहीं चलता कि हम लोग ने कितना टाइम दे दिया है इन सब सोशल मीडिया चीज़ों के ऊपर. तो वहाँ पे ऑडियंस इज रेडी, विच इज़ द इंडियन ऑडियंस. वहाँ पे हम लोग को डाले तो इंडियन रीडर्स हम लोग के पास में ज़्यादा आ सकते हैं, as compared to putting it onto any of these English medium or bloggers kind of website and all. So we'll get all English audience, which is going to be primarily from US, UK, and Australia and countries which are predominantly English speaking. India has a very less percentage of English readers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
सर एक मीटिंग और इसके बाद होने वाली है, तो यदि और क्वेश्चन पूछ ली सर, किसी को पूछना है?
Anyone?
Sir, hello.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि ब्लॉग्स में एडवर्टीजमेंट सेक्शंस होते हैं क्या? जैसे कि अगर हम अपने कॉलेज से रिलेटेड, अपने स्टूडेंट्स से और अपने डिपार्टमेंट से रिलेटेड कुछ पोस्ट अगर सिर्फ फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ एडवर्टीजमेंट हम अगर करना चाहें टू रिसीव मोर एंड मोर attention towards the facilities we are providing, तो क्या ब्लॉग में ऐसा भी कोई सेक्शन होता है जिसमें हम सिर्फ एडवर्टीजमेंट्स के लिए ब्लॉग कर सके?
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल. आपको क्रिएटिविटी पूरी दी हुई है. आपका जो ब्लॉग कंटेंट है, कंटेंट के बीच में आप वो पर्टिकुलर इमेज या पर्टिकुलर वीडियो अगर आप यूट्यूब से डाल रहे हो, तो वो भी आप बड़ी आसानी से डाल सकते हो. तो वो वीडियो वहाँ पे कंटेंट के बीच में आ जाएगा एज एन एडवर्टाइजमेंट. जैसे हम लोग आजकल न्यूज़पेपर्स के जितने भी ब्लॉग्स या आर्टिकल्स पढ़ते हैं ऑनलाइन, तो आप देखते हो कि बहुत सारे एड्स दिखते हैं, बहुत सारे पॉपअप्स आते हैं. कहीं कहीं पे वो एड्स जो है कंटेंट के बीच में रहता है, कहीं पे आपको से बीच में ही दिख जाएगा, पूरे पेज के बीच में वो आ जाएगा, सब्सक्राइब टू अस, ये सारी चीजें. तो these are all different ways in which we can customize our blog to also show our own ads. But try to be as much as authentic as possible and don't be in the face of the reader कि वो reader advertisement देख के ही भाग जाए, but try to make it more subtle inside the content in much more easier way so that वो read करते करते 4 line read करने के बाद में when it gets more interesting and is going to the 5th or 6th line, put in the advertisement or the particular message that you want to put in. So those things can be inserted whenever you want. And the blog post also give you sidebars, जो right hand side है and top header section है, वहाँ पे आप जो most relevant ads अगर आपको डालने हैं तो वो आप वहाँ पे भी डाल सकते हैं, which will come out towards the end or in between the articles.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Poonam Gupta, madam. मनीष सर.
जी सर.
जी मैडम.
हाँ जी.
आप तेजस सर के लिए बोलिए.
I think it was a very enriching session. और तेजस जी ने ना सिर्फ बड़ी पेशेंटली और बड़ी डेफ्टली सभी मेंबर्स की क्वेश्चंस को आंसर किया है, बल्कि उन्होंने हमें जो भी नुआंसेस बताए हैं अबाउट बिकमिंग अ गुड ब्लॉग राइटर, शायद हम सभी को उससे फायदा होगा. और तेजस, लेकिन एक बात मैं आपको एश्योर कर दूं कि शायद आपका जो ये सेशन है यहीं खत्म नहीं होगा. Maybe all of us will keep getting back to you every now and then, whenever we feel that we have got stuck in some way or the other. I hope that will not bother you much.
Not at all, ma'am. And in the presentation, I've shared my details also. You can get in touch with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. And I'm always there. And it's been a pleasure, ma'am, to interact with everybody again after 2 months, I think more, almost exactly 2 months or so. But
yes, absolutely.
3 months, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. It was 13th March when you came to the college.
Yes.
So that was just a few days before the lockdown.
Right.
Yes. So let's hope that this is very close to the removal of the lockdown.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And now we're ending the session. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.